Alright, hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how I cheesed all the Bloodborne bosses, primarily using a cannon infinite shot glitch. This glitch can be used to decimate bosses that are normally really hard to cheese in a matter of seconds. It will be a bit of a journey to get to that point, so let's get started right away. The class we're going to use for this build is Military Veteran, and the first thing we're going to be doing as we start off from a fresh character is something called the Wolf Skip. This will allow us to get to the Forbidden Woods a lot faster, giving us access to the cannon right away. We won't be able to use the cannon for the glitch right away, but it's good to have it early, and there's a lot of good reasons to go there early. So this is what you have to do to the Wolf Skip. You have to go towards the gate here, roll an attack from this wolf to the right there, stand on this part of the outer ring right here, and hope that he does the grab attack. You'll do it once. Once you see him do it, go towards this door. Make sure you and your camera are centered. And once you get grabbed, mash the triggers and bumper buttons as fast as possible. And you should get pushed through the gate, and you can now pull the lever for feature usage. Unfortunately, this skip is very inconsistent. So you will see, like for example now, the wolf will sometimes just misbehave, not do what you want her to do. But you can just keep trying this as long as you want. Even if you die, you don't lose much, given that you started the game. And I should warn that sometimes if the wolf grabs you in an awkward angle and maybe your camera isn't positioned well, you won't actually go through the gate. So it is a very annoying skip. It's very obnoxious for speedrunners as well. Once you do and you get the lever, go down this ladder. And then for the next one, this is going to take you right to the swampy area where all the giants are. Once you're trying to get back into the Forbidden Woods, you can find an antidote here. You can use that to heal. And here we are in the Forbidden Woods. If you're still a little confused, just a reminder, this is where you go to the clinic to get the summons. Or going through it backwards. I recommend killing these dogs because they get in the way a lot. We're gonna get a blue elixir here. This little hut. That'll be very useful. If you want to go to Amygdala early, you can actually get the Stanzo Stone from this guy right here. Now I'm going to take advantage of that soon. And then right here, there's some Quicksilver bullets I picked up earlier. And then if you drop down right to them, there's Beast Blood pellets. These are going to be very needed this early on. Also got some pungent cocktails for later. And now we're going to start getting some twin shards. So right after the little oil pond here, there will be some twin blood shards. We won't be able to use twin blood shards for a little while, but it's really easy to get them early on. And there's a lot of loot here and souls you can get from killing the enemies. So I recommend doing so early. There's some more down here. And that door is where I got the pungent cocktail. So if you don't know where those are, you can just go backwards here. Now when you get to the part where the cannon launcher is, I use one of the pungent cocktails to get those beast blood pellets from this enemy. And then around here, before the windmill area, I got some more twin shards. Before making our way to the cannon, I use a blue elixir here to make sure I hide from this enemy as we climb up the ladder. He doesn't seem to see us at all. And once again, before the cannon, I am going to get these poison knives. There's some more right here. And I'm going to actually kill this abhorrent beast early. Primarily to get more souls early on. You can see around 7,000 souls, so it's not a huge amount, but it could be really nice, especially if you're going killing enemies. So if you're unaware, all you have to do really is go into this tunnel doorway and throw poison knives at it. Only 3 of them seem to do the job pretty much. So you just have to hit him a couple times and then stall. Just be careful once he gets to around lower than half because he can do some range attacks that can hit you. So you should go deeper into the hallway. And there you go. There's almost 7,000 souls. Alright, now we can actually grab our beloved cannon that we'll be using a lot later. Now before we actually head back to the dream and such, I'm gonna grab this Madman knowledge right here. I did see if I can kill this guy, but he's too tanky, so I just go for the Madman. And then make our way to one of the shortcuts. With this enemy right here, I would be very careful. He does hurt really on her, so I would lock on and dodge whatever he does. And then just dash to the right here. There is another twin shards here that I would recommend getting early. And then you can make your way back to the shortcut. You do actually have to go right up because it's one of those that's covered by a door. And of course you actually do have to get the lamp for this warping point because you don't have any other way to get here besides the clinic. I'm gonna quick detour to where the enemies a little deeper into the level are, where the first trap is. There is a twin shards there as well. And now I make my way back to the dream. Before I actually do, I pop Man Knowledge, that way I can talk to the doll right away because she will be asleep otherwise. And then we actually make our way. Now my priority here is going to be to get our strength to 25. That will be the first cap for damage. Our saw cleaver. And you of course have to sit down. And then I put the rest into Veg just to get a little more survivability later because we did see that a lot of things hurt us really bad. It's also close to another level. I just popped some of the cold blood I had earlier and that should be enough for another level.
Well, very well.
I'm gonna go back to the Forbidden Woods really quick again to get myself a couple more twin shards while I'm here. I put on a Molotov cocktail, it's gonna help us in a bit. So if you just hug the right cliff here and drop down a bit, you can actually find a little segment that has one of those wandering nightmares. And it'll have more twin shards for you later. And then now we're gonna make our way back to the main part that gets a lot of people lost in the Forbidden Woods. We're actually gonna go to cheese our first boss now, which will be Shadows of Yharnam. We'll get to how to cheese him shortly. But if you don't know how to navigate the forest quite yet, all you have to do is follow the brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road.
The brick road will pretty much get you all the way to where the pigs are in the little swampy area near the shadows. Here we are. I do have to kill the pigs just to get a couple more vials. And right behind that pig, go to this little left side where there's little fireflies, and then hug the right for the other shortcut that's in the windmill area. Both of those will be really nice to have in case something goes wrong with the cheese we're about to do, or just in general. While I'm here, I go up here to get these twin shards since I don't think we're going to be coming near here unless you mess up the skip. So it's just good to have. And then go back down and then go forward. Now this is pretty much at the end of that part where you're about to get to the shadows. I have to kill the pig just so he doesn't get in the way. And then we're going to discuss our first cheese, and it's going to require us to do a little bit of a skip here. So the first thing you got to do is jump up to one of these tombstones here. Surprisingly, get it very first try. And then you're going to get around here to where this tree is. Don't walk too much to the left because there's no floor there. As you can see, we're kind of like getting shaken off of it. So to get more stabilized, you're going to roll into it. You're going to see now my character is moving. And then you're going to run towards the tree and do very small micro adjustments to the left and try to jump around it. It's a little tricky, but as long as you quit out, you're safe to retry again. As you can see, we're there. You pretty much just jump around it. Then we're kind of inside the tree. We're going to kind of try to hug the right here. And then once you get to this tree and this stone right here, go in between them. And then you can pretty much drop into the shadows room. This is where we are now. So you're going to see the activate now. That's because the first time you encounter them, they forced to activate. You're going to quit out. And you're going to drop in again. Just be a little careful where you drop in because apparently you can get stuck in some of the geometry. It's not something you can't fix. You can just quit out again. I did try for a second to get unstuck, but seemed like I needed to quit out. So I did. And then I just make sure to roll as I drop down. That makes it a lot safer. But yeah, as you can see now, the boss seems to trigger from crossing the fog gates. So they're actually completely frozen. So now we can just hit them and they won't activate or anything. You're free to just wail on them as you wish. So yeah, as we can't use the cannon glitch now, we just thought it would be a good time to do this. They will give you a lot of souls for this early in the game. Now you can kill them without any buffs or anything, but I did opt to use the Beast Blood Pellets to speed it up a little bit. You will have plenty of those in the future, so I think you can use them. It just depends on you. All you want to spend here. If you're unaware, Beast Blood Pellets do increase your damage, but they do increase your damage taken as well. So an attack would do more damage on you, but given that they're frozen, it doesn't really matter. I should mention too, the levels we got earlier, the 25 strength, without blood gems and without upgrade to our weapons, they don't increase our damage too much, unfortunately. But it is nice to have those early on, so you can spend all of your early levels on that. All right, now that they're dead, we can just warp back to the dream. If we go up here, you can see that there's no way to access the little room with the upgrade weapons. I think it's when you get to the central Yarnum lamp, which I didn't get yet. So for now, we're just going to spend our levels on skill, since that's also something that scales with our cleaver. So that puts some 19 levels into it. And one thing you should know is that vials are very cheap this early on. So if you have a lot of spare souls, that would definitely be one thing to spend them on. Alright, so now we make our way to Central Yarnum. I grab the lamp. And there will be some bloodstones you want to get. Here's one near the ambush that gets a lot of people. At the bridge with the cleric beast, there's one in the opposite side of the cleric beast. Right here in this little area where there's the pellets, there is also one around here. This one right here, just go in these boxes and then grab it. And very near that too, just if you go to the right here, there is one more shard. Now down there isn't anything good. There's only the hunter cloak that you can get here. It's the one I'm wearing now. But it's not necessary really. There's one more blood shard before the main shortcut of the Central Yarnum. So make sure to grab that and the shortcut, of course. You can see we have 5 stone shards. So now that the workshop is open, we can upgrade our weapon to +1. That will increase our damage a fair amount, and that'll be nice for the next bosses coming up. But a brunt of our damage is going to come from Beast Blood Pellets anyway. Alright, so now we're going to make our way to Cleric Beast, and again, Beast Blood Pellets are going to be our main way of damage. Before we get there though, I do want to teach you how to effectively raise the beast meter for the Beast Blood Pellets. So for the Saw Cleaver, it is a well-known detail that if you do R1, L1, 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 the L1 in particular is really good to boost the beast meter. So if it's not full, that's a combo you want to opt for. The L1 also does extra damage, but it's not too necessary after your beast meter is full. Okay, now to get to Cleric Beast, pop the Beast Blood Pellet before you get to him. I try to go for running R1 on its head and miss entirely, so I just kind of wait for him to give me an opening. And then I just start hitting the legs or the limbs. Reminder that those break, and they break very easily once you have beast meter. I try to get a hit in before the riposte, and then hit the riposte. And then go for more limbs. Then a cheeky R2 at the very end, and I think he's dead and go for the Quicksilver bullets, but turns out he's not. But just a little shot from my gun is enough to get it. So yeah, the Beast Blood Pellet did all the job there. The strength we have extra helps, but it's not necessary. Alright, so now we're gonna go back to Gascoigne. We are gonna pick up a couple items there. So right here, this right corpse right here that's hanging off, this is 2 stone shards. I think I'm about to die from this fall, but I'm not, so I almost quit out, but I'm good. There's the 2 shards there. Then I go get the music box from the girl. That will make Gascoigne easier than he already is gonna be with the Beast Bloods. And then the sewers, this little shard right here as well. I get the shortcut before Gascoigne, and then go back. And then just before the fight itself, I do want to teach another thing that we can do. Especially with Beast Blood Pellets. If you do R2, R2 back to back after a backstab, that will do an insane amount of damage with the Beast Blood Pellets. All you have to do really is as soon as you see the cleaver hit the ground or whatever, finishing the attack, you can start holding R2 again, and that will do the trick. It's not too hard to do this combo. For Gascoigne, I'm going to opt to just bring it up to the top to have more clear ground. I use my first music box trigger and try to get a backstab, and I totally fail. So honestly, maybe you should just do R1, L1, L1, L1 on the first attacks to get the beast meter up. And then for the second beast meter, you can grab the backstabs, and you can see that does a lot of damage right there.
What's that smell?
I do one more tiny box, but it seems to fail. So I just get another one in whenever I get an opening.
Oh, it seems to me it's enough to make a man sick.
And then get the backstabs again. And he is already down. So didn't even get to do second phase, which you can kill before he turns into that. You're unaware. So GG's Gascoigne. I do go get this brooch because we will need it later. Of course, grab the blood gem tool or your cleaver. When you get the lamp to the ward, go back to the dream and buy the Hunter's Chief emblem. If you're unaware, that's one way to bypass doing Bloodstar Beast after killing Cleric Beast. And then you can actually upgrade your Soul Cleaver to a +2 by now. We do have one gem slot open, but we can't use it yet. So we are actually going to get said gem and more upgrades. So I go back to the ward, and I do go and get the Hunter's garb with the top hat because that actually has better beasthood, which means I can have more range to increase your beast meter. As I go up to this giant, I get 2 swords right there, and then go to this little courtyard area, get 3 near this crow. And then blue elixir here is really nice because this enemy right here is very dangerous. So I opt to use that, and then I use that to kill the Wandering Nightmare. It can't even see me itself, so I kill it real quick. 3 blood chests from that. There's some back here as well. Then I go downstairs to where the bridge will connect. There's that chest with a single gem, which I don't believe is that powerful, but it's nice to have this early since we're already here. Right, and then I go back to where the Chief Emblem is used, to the gate. If you want to go back and get a Bold Hunter's Mark, you can. I will be using that in a moment. We're just going to get one more gem, since we will get another slot once you get a +3. So we just go for the Forbidden Woods entrance. We're not going to go quite there, but we are going to get a gem that is right before. This one right here. And then I use the Bull Hunter Mark. Or you can just run back if you want. Alright, so we're back in the dream now. I fortified over to +5 now since we have some extra twin shards earlier. And I equip the 2 gems we just got. We can see that we are not even that far away from getting a +6, so we're actually going back to the woods. And I'm actually going to show you an unedited run through the really confusing part of the woods to get yourself even more twin shards. Should be all you need for a little while here. So this is the pathing I would do to get some extra twin shards. It's what you do in the glitches speedrun to get some on the way to shadows. So this one right here, there's a bunch of snakes around here. Once you get this one, go back around these trees. Get that one next to the tree right there. And then from here, you can drop down right here to the left. There's some others right here. And then you want to run behind this ball of snakes. There will be the really scary pit where there are more snakes here. I would recommend using the blue elixir here. These 2 items will be twin shards as well. And now I would just recommend using the bold mark to go back. Alright, so then we have a +6 cleaver now. You actually unlock the 3rd gem slot, so I would actually pop the brooch gem we got earlier and equip it to the last slot. And yeah, now we have a very powerful +6 weapon, 25 strength, 19 skill before we even get to Amelia, while only killing 3 bosses. So I go to level here, and I personally go get more skill, but I forget that I actually need more strength for the cannon later. So instead of doing skill here, I would recommend you level into 27 strength or so. Whatever you can afford at the moment. It's not too urgent to get the 30 strength yet, but it's good to start getting it now. And now we're going to make our way to Amelia. So a quick way to do this with just the Hunter's Chief Emblem is to drop down here and then just make a run for the stairs over here. You make a shot as you go up the ladder, it's no big deal. Then drop down, and I would definitely recommend you get one of these levers for the shortcuts. And do get the other one while I'm at it. There's where the mist, the numbing mist would be. But we're going to destroy Amelia, so I opt not to even pick them up. So what I recommend here, actually go to up to Amelia, is to pop a beast blood pad around here. That'll give you a good chance to wail on her first arm and break it. Then I break the other hand and the face. Then I go for the legs, just typical limb stuff. I go for the riposte as soon as I can. And then just keep on hitting the limbs everywhere. It's... if you know what you're doing, she already can't get combo with a +0 in beast blood pads only. But having a good weapon with gems at this point is just too much for her. Especially with beast blood. I'm gonna go back to the dream. I pick up the blood eye because we're gonna go to DLC run right now.
Well,
Before we do so though, I do get more levels, but again, put them into strength. You should have around 29 now. We won't need 30. And then I go to DLC. Of course, grab the lamp here. Alright, so there's a lot of twin shards here, so I would definitely offer picking them up. Because we'll have to level the cannon later. There's 1, there's 3. Get this lever just in case. Doing DLC this early is very dangerous. Pick up the eye pen as you're here. Then go back. There will be some more twin shards here before the little house. Then do go back to the shortcut. Be careful with these cannons if you're going to take this path. The other way up this little bridge is actually better. You should have probably gone for that instead, but I went dangerous way. And of course I get the shortcut. As you can see, we got 9 twin shards so far, which is pretty good. And then now pop a blue elixir here and have a bold mark ready. If you need to go back for another one, feel free. You can buy them from the store in the dream. And then you're just gonna run as straight as you can to the stairs here. You will get shot by the hunter, guaranteed, but it should not knock you off or hurt too much. And it should be only one. Thankfully, Blix is pretty consistent. And then I wig my way to the lamp. I grab this madman now just cause it's in the way. And then wait for this guy to kind of go around so I don't have too much trouble. And then run to the lamp. And of course he will have to grab it. Because he will come back here later for Ludwig. Now make your way down these stairs. There's going to be a couple more upgrade materials here, so you can kill this Wandering Nightmare. It should give you chunks, actually. So I believe those will be your first chunks of the playthrough, which is really nice. And it's kind of broken how early you can get them as soon as you kill Amelia. And then at the end of this little elevated area, there will be some extra shards. I get this item down here because they are vials. They're pretty nice to have as well. And then I make a mad dash away from this hunter because he's scary as heck. Go, just run for the whirligig. I grabbed this. I didn't realize what it was, but not necessary. Don't get that. And then as soon as you get the whirligig, just use the hunter mark. It didn't seem like the hunter chased me, but I was too scared to check before I used it, so. Alright, now just to get some extra bloodstone shards without looking for them, you can just buy them from the enchant shop. So just buy enough to get 16 total. So however many you have and just subtract 16 from it. Then upgrade your cannon. I'm able to get it to +5 for now. And this is where I realize I don't have the strength to actually use it. So I go now back to the DLC for 2 reasons. I'm going to get more upgrade materials to get the cannon even higher. And in a little bit I will also be going to get more weapons to sell from the DLC because those sell for a lot. So I would recommend that you expect this to be a suicide run because this little area here is going to be a death sentence essentially. You can get this little nightmare though. I would recommend Molotovs because it's really tanky. Some extra chunks. I did get the torch earlier, so I just used it here. You don't need it though. And I just try to run around the little machine gun guy. He is definitely the most dangerous part of this. But if you go around to the right, it should be fine. And you just pick up pretty much every item you see. I believe everything is a upgrade material, so there's a chunk. And then go back to where the blood starve is. Twin shards. And then the amygdala arm, I believe that does sell for a lot, so I get it while I'm here. Then I make my way back. The machine guy is with me in this room, but somehow he doesn't actually kill me. Then I get these last twin shards, and I make my way back, and I am actually fine. So, thankfully for me, I didn't lose the 5,000 souls I had, but I would definitely recommend you use them all before you go. Then quickly go get the Beast Hunter safe. and then the boom hammer. And then my way back to the dream to sell them. To get my levels back to 38 strength. The save wasn't actually that much, but it's still nice to have early. Now I'll get my strength to 30. Then I realize I have a few extra souls, so I just put it into Blood Tinge, because that will be used to level up our cannon. And now I get my cannon up to +7. We could maybe go out of our way to get it higher if we really wanted to, but I decided not to. That's good enough for now. So now, this is how I would recommend ordering your weapons. Put on the whirligigs on the first slot, Sockly in the second, and then the guns don't really matter, but I put them in this order. And then now I'm going to teach you how to do the cannon glitch. So this is how it looks to do. As you can see in the top left, I don't consume any bullets. You can actually move around and rearrange your shots if you know how to do it. Alright, so here's a controller pad and some input orders on screen to help you learn it. So the first thing you're going to do is hold L2 the whole time as the menu. You're going to press start. You're going to go down and unequip the whirligig. Press options again to take off the menu. And then once you shoot your first shot, you need to start timing your shots here. This is the rhythm I often go for, but you can actually go a little bit faster. Just make sure it's consistent. You cannot move while you're doing your time shot, so if you need to move, hold down L2 and then move. And then once you need to shoot again, let go of the stick and then press L2 times again. I should also show real quick that you actually can do this with any gun, not just the cannon. It's just that the cannon is the most efficient use of it. Okay, now we're going to ROM to be our first boss to cheese with the cannon. Go get the key to open this area. And then here in the lake, it's actually one of the better places to practice considering how many empty space there is. So I would recommend you get some extra blood bullets just in case you mess it up and end up consuming some. We can also just quit out if you need to go back and get more. And of course, ROM will be the first one I show it to cheese because it's one of the hardest ones to cheese, even if you know what you're doing. Alright, so now I'll get behind them, get locked on, and then just fire away. Now be careful once you have actually started the fight because the spiders actually store aggro for a bit. And yeah, there you go. Super easy cannon cheese ROM. Of course, we're going to make our way to Yahar Ghul, get this lamp. And while I'm here, I could just go quickly get a chunk that we have here. And then go back to the dream. I level my blood tinge up a little bit since I do have extra levels. The amount of damage that increases for one blood tinge is pretty good before you hit 25. 25 is the first cap for a lot of the diminishing returns for most damage dealing stats. Alright, now we're gonna make our way through Yahar Ghul. Make our way down these stairs, of course. I get the bull paper that's around this corner here for a little bit later. I will be showing some cheeses for bosses that I think are fun and easy to do without the cannon. So I'll most likely show both. I get these chunks right here before you do this draw for the upper cathedral key. This lady interrupts me as I drop down. Fantastic. Then I just start down here. Get the key. And I do go get the tiny tonitrus. It sells for a little bit as well, which is really nice. And then make our way back up to the top. Make my way to the next lamp with these enemies if I find. This little corner here is where I used to like to stall to get safety before I get lasered. Get the lamp. I see the Wandering Nightmares, I go kill it. That gives you a lot of chunks. I go on a little further and then go down to where the Paro area kind of is, but go down to where the cell actually would be, where you get captured. You make your way all the way down to the base stairs. You can see some cold blood and then some chunks here from the snatchers that I dropped. Then I make my way back up to the surface. Going from the top here, I can bait this coffin enemy and then get these chunks here. And also go around here to get these chunks and then some bold paper as well. A little bit dangerous of a place I put myself with these coffins, but I make it fine. There are some chunks I believe over there by all those coffins over there, but I don't think it's necessary. And then now I make my way back to Paro, because that's the next boss we're gonna do. As I get to him, I see a couple more chunks, so I grab them. And then I'm going to the boss itself. So I'm first going to show you a way to cheese this boss without the cannon, which actually you can do with anything. It's going to be another AI freeze. So basically you want to get your feet more or less in a straight line with this lamp here. It's a good idea to take off your clothes here to line up your feet. But you do want to make it to the top right of this little rock here. So if you do it like this, the quit out here can actually potentially line you up even if it's not too precise. It didn't work the first time, so I'll quit out again, see if it works. And it was a little bit off, so I quit out one more time and just adjust myself a little further. And now they look good enough for me, so once you have that, you can go to the boss. And then once you see the health bar and get the inside and everything, you can quit out. Just to show this is all in one quit out, I'm not going to edit it forward. But what's going to happen here is that you're actually going to be spawned through the fog gate. You're going to be actually spawned inside the boss room. But since the boss seems to trigger through crossing the fog gate, it won't actually be activated. So as you can see, I'm past it. But Paro is not activated, so we can actually just wail him just like Shadows with anything we got. So if you want to just use your Saw Spear, trusty Saw Spear with no risk of losing bullets, feel free to wail on them like that. There's a lot of different ways to achieve this same effect of freezing them. This just seems like the most convenient one. This is the one I showed. Truth be told though, if you have high enough Saw Cleaver damage, you can actually just kind of stun lock this boss to death, but why even risk that, you know? This is a cheese all bosses video after all. We're gonna not give him any chance whatsoever. But just to show you how that actually looks with the cannon as well, which is a lot faster, I would say as well, but a little bit risky if you mess it up, so. Before the boss even starts, you can just start shooting him. They'll stagger very, very easily. If we weren't convinced about the cannon yet with ROM, this should be another good seller, if anything. Alright, we're now going to make our way to Old Yarnum with this gate here. If you didn't know, you can actually get to here from there as well. And we're going to Bloodstarved Beast. That's why if I went earlier, you can just go here right after. And I haven't used my souls yet, because I'm just that confident that we're going to do this fine. I have some punching cocktails, but if you don't, there's some right here. There's also some Hunter's Bold Mark here, which are nice. And again, I'm going to show you how to do one fine little cheese with the Saw Cleaver first. So pause the visual pad when you activate the boss, and then chuck this punching cocktail to the corner here. And as he kind of walks towards it, just kind of backstab him and do the R2R2 strat. As you can see, that along with our insanely high Saw Cleaver damage, it's already almost dead. You can do this even with low damage and still work really well. But yeah, it's really nice. Alright, and if you use the cannon glitch, it's going to work a little bit different. I would actually recommend you throw the cocktail to the back of the room almost, because that corner didn't seem to work very well when I tried it. So go to this corner here and chuck it there. And then wait for him to get there. I would even chuck another one because those do run out fairly quickly. And then start the cannon glitch. Depending on where he ends up getting staggered to, you may need to readjust. But I actually don't know if I did that very often in this one. I think I just kept shooting without readjusting. And it was already dead, so. Another easy one. I go back to the dream. And I start leveling Vid here. And that will be for some of the bosses coming up. Now, I do want even more Vid than I have now, so I'm going to go to Amygdala early. Before I do that, I'm going to get these Lead Elixir and then go get grabbed by the Amygdala in the actual temple room. I don't know what it is. Yeah, of course, we're going to be in the lecture hall. I don't think there's anything you really need here, so I just go straight to the Nightmare Frontier. Alright, so of course I grab the lamp just in case anything goes wrong. And I do a few things here before I go. I kill this enemy right here so he doesn't interrupt what I'm about to do. And then I grab these Lead Elixirs as I drop down here. And I'm actually going to show you how to do a skip here. That's really nice to know. It's a really nice one to know for even casual playthroughs, so if you don't want to run through the area. So you want your left leg to be pretty much lined up with this part of the crease in the stones. And then you want to walk a little bit forward until you're pretty much just floating off or like starting to fall off. And then turn around and do the sit down animation. Again, to show this is the seamless and the same skip. I'm not going to actually skip forward. But what's going to happen here is that you're going to store your position a little bit lower than you are from the elevator button. So you're going to be kind of inside the wall or something. And then when you load in, you're actually going to start dropping there. Make sure to have full health, I should say as well. And you're going to drop down to the actual elevator without dying because it's just a short enough fall. You can hit it, you just have to get outside the elevator room and then go back in. Now, I'm going to show the cannon method first. There isn't a really fast way to do this saw, but we don't have the levels to do that quite yet. So all you really have to do is go here, do the cannon glitch. And hitting, you can see that there I didn't actually do any damage to the head. But the stagger alone really made it a lot easier to manage. So even if you do it too early where it can take damage, it gets destroyed really fast. Alright, so I'm not going to show you how to do a saw spear, but this is a lot later. I got like one of the strongest gems you can get in the base game. And a +10 cleaver. So if you want to do this later, you could do this. But basically, you just want to run up, pop your Bezo pellets around here. Wait a little bit until his hands are kind of off the ground, and then you can do an R2 to hit his head. Do R1, L1, L1 on its head, and just hit his hand a couple times and he's dead. The main thing that can go wrong here is that if you do the smash on the head early, you'll stagger him, but you won't actually get the damage. So just be careful to not hit it too early. Just get a good feel for the timing here. I guess basically when it starts raising his head, you can do it. You can maybe do something similar with lower level gems and stuff, but I just wouldn't do that yet. As you can see, this kind of goes wrong, so I just start over. Alright, so after Amygdala, I get myself 20 vet. I do get the 19 over there, and I just pop a couple extra items to get more. And then I go to upgrade my cannon a little bit more with all the chunks I got and get a +9, which is really spicy. This is going to be as strong as we get for a little while because we can't equip gems. But yeah, we are now ready to do one reborn. Before that, I do get one extra strong gem you can get early on. It's behind this door and protected by this wolf. I use the cannon glitch to just get him out of the way. I did hope I'd kill it, but it didn't seem to. Then I get out. And now for cannon glitch, you want one reborn. I would recommend, if you're not going to kill the ads, have a lead elixir on you. This is what we got the extra vit for as well, to have a little more survivability. And then I go to around this position and start drinking lead elixir. I wait until he drops the bodies once, and then start doing that in his body right here. As you can see, some of the bodies dropped on me, but then stagger me, and my health is good enough to not be too dangerous. The fireballs can also stagger you, which is really annoying, so that's why I got for the lead elixir. An extra vet, generally. If you do it fast enough, it shouldn't be any issues. I would say that this strategy, as long as you do it quickly enough, is safe enough that you don't need to kill the ads, but this is how it would look if you do kill the ads anyway. Of course, I'll use the saw cleaver to make it a little faster. You do have good enough damage with it. There's some extra bullets around the corner too, which is nice. Alright, right here, he's going to do explosion usually by the time we get done with this. You can kind of just shoot the body and get that next part of the attack that he's going to do just cancelled. There wasn't really shooting at it, so I did have to readjust myself. And the damage seems to be lower when I hit the body, so I guess it's not getting double hits, which is the main issue. But I was able to get it eventually. It did drop bodies on me, but I was pretty much already dead by then. Anywho, now once you're done with that, go to Nightmare Frontier. We are going to get a little bit of items here, but we're just going to get the lamp real quick before we go back to the dream. So this enemy right here is really annoying, so I would recommend killing it before you go for the Wandering Nightmare that we're about to kick. That one's going to have some chunks, so I just shoot it with a cannon real quick. And then I go back to the dream with the next lamp.
Very well.
Get myself 14 tinge. And now as I'm at it, I'm going to upgrade my saw cleaver to +7, so there's some extra chunks, and equip one of my better gems on it. Alright, so We're gonna go back to Mensis for one thing almost entirely. And I do need to kill this big spider and all the little ones to make it not so deadly. So I will opt to do that real quick. It's really nice with a cannon since we can go back to the hallway. The big one kind of blocks the little ones from coming too, so you can just get rid of them like that. As long as you're consistent. And the one thing we need is the Shaman Bone Blade right here. I don't remember there's any before this point, but I opt for these ones since I remember those. Then I go to get this elevator and just go get this lamp again and go back to the dream. I did get some extra levels for all the massacre, so I just put more into Blood Tinge. Easy. And now what we're gonna do is go do the Celestial Emissaries and Ebrieta's line. So I'll go to the ward, of course. I want to show you a little trick that I really like to do. It's one of my favorite speedrun tricks that I've learned after speedrunning this game. So once you're in ladders, if you go to the top of one, and then go make sure to touch solid ground before you actually do this. But if you do L1 a few frames before you hit X on top of a ladder, you can actually do a cool little trick. And I'm feeling it a little bit here. You'll know you did it right whenever you kind of get snapped to position on top of the ladder, but don't actually get on it. Like that. So I did it right here. So if you do that and you quit out later on after you've done something, you can actually do something really cool. I'll show that in a moment. Yeah, so I was going up to the Lipo Cathedral, but now I'm going back down to the abandoned workshop. I dropped down to go get the umbilical cord. I also go get the doll set because that is really good selling item. And I get the umbilical cord. And now, what I was mentioning earlier is that now you can quit out. No editing here, so you can see it's all in one segment. So what I did earlier with the transforming is that it makes the game think that you're in that ladder. The whole time you're kind of traveling somewhere else. And once you reload, it actually puts you back there because that's where the game thinks you are. And as you can see, I do have the doll set and the umbilical cord. So that did just, you know, I'm not tricking you. This is a cool, really, really cool strat that I learned for speedrunning. And I've been using it on my own time. Yeah, now up to Upper Cathedral again. I would recommend getting this Radiant Sword badge because that has the paper, fire paper for selling. Get the lamp for the Upper Cathedral. Also get a few extra chunks from this Wandering Nightmare, although I have to be careful with this brain sucker. I did try to get it through the wall with cannon. I don't think it works well. And then I go kill the ones that have the key. I kill this one first because he's the bait. Then I wait for the other one to come over. You could potentially do it with Cleaver, but reminder, these guys are really resistant to anything but thrust. Alright, so Living Failures. This is a very popular cheese. You can actually use the Shaman Bone Blade on the main Celestial Emissary, not Living Failures. And that would actually pretty much kill the boss with the ads alone. I didn't miss, so they start attacking some like one random one that I hit, which I'm fine with. I actually did want to show how to do this with a cannon as well. But Shaman Bone Blade is really good to distract, or just have the boss to be killed by the ads alone. You can just kind of kill the main one even if the ads are following you, but it's really annoying to do so. And then on the way to Ebrieta's, I'll show the cannon first because it's even better than the normal cheese. So just activate it, get it a little bit far away so it doesn't hit you with the attack, and then just start shooting at it. The second you hit the head, that should stagger it really well. And yeah, it's very easy fight with a cannon. I will now be showing you how to do with a cleaver. It's a lot more precise, but it's definitely pretty cheesy too. So, pop a Beezwa pellet, hit Ebrieta's from behind and the tentacles twice with L1s. Then pop a bolt paper and wait for the HP bar to show, and then start hitting it in the tentacle or the head. That should very quickly stagger it, so you can just wail on it even more. You don't even need to take the riposte to get optimal damage. By the time it's doing the second phase buff or whatever, it's like pretty much already dead. It takes too long to buff there, so pretty simple. The only downside is that if you start hitting it too much before the H bar shows up, you will still stagger it, but it won't actually do any damage. So this took me a couple tries to get right, even though it should be simple to just wait for the HP bar to show. But yeah, I'm pretty much just showcasing how I can go around right now. Alright, so back to the dream. I opt to get 24 Vit. I'm going to start leveling Vit again for another boss that's going to be a little pain in the butt. I seem to get a couple extra levels, but I end up going a little bit for Blood Tinge as well, it looks like. Now we're going to take a quick detour. You should have a bolt 100 mark for sure. We're going to go to the area that will get you to the main courtyard. We're gonna go to this area to get these poison knives here, and then we're gonna blow Hunter's Mark, and of course you're gonna do it right next to an enemy. And now we're gonna go back to Mikolash. So you may be aware of this cheese already. It's a pretty popular one, but we're gonna do using a mix of old and new right now. So make your way to Mikolash. Also get this one really strong gem that's right here, this cage. As I go there, I do get these chunks right here and some cold blood, which is on the way. It's very nice. And of course I get the elevator just in case anything goes wrong. And then I make my way to the boss. So the first thing I would recommend you do to make this as easy as possible is to scare him into his little room. First thing you can, I get really good RNG here and just go straight in. And then we're going to do the cannon glitch from like across the room. If he's in the corner, that's even better because you can just kind of get stuck and re-hit over and over with the cannon. I think this is a decent stagger for that. I did stop the combo before it was done, but I just shoot again. I do make my way to get some extra items in this because this arena is actually really filled with goodies that are really nice to have. So I go get this Wandering Nightmare chunks. Well, I'm harassed by enemies too even. Then I work my way back up. I try to chase Mikolash into almost his final room area, but not quite. For that though, I do get these chunks right here. Then I go backwards. And I use a poison knife strap from above him in this little area right here. And I think I do it wrong. I don't know how this cheese really works honestly, but I do chuck one. He gets hit and then does the teleport thing. I hit him again and he seems to get poisoned, but he just disappears again. So I don't actually know how cheese works, honestly. I just looked it up. I'm aware of how it works and stuff. Kind of. Apparently not entirely. And I even look for him for a while. I don't find him until I get up here. I hit him again just to see if he does anything, but then he kind of disappears again and I have to go back and see him and it just runs again. I don't know. Honestly, if you all know how the cheese works better than me, just you can do it better, I'm sure. It's a very popular one where you just kind of knock him down with poison knives. So what happens to me is that I get him here. I chuck the poison knives here and he kind of glitches in there as well. He's like teleporting from the mirror there, but it's not even there. So I poison him with 3 knives and he just kind of stays there and does this. So at this point I'm very confused. I probably should have checked more how this worked, but honestly it didn't really matter. So I just let it happen for a little while, but then I just get impatient, so I just pull up the cannon. And turns out that's actually a perfect spot for him to get stuck for a cannon glitch. To do this over and over, so I don't know. Y'all can do the poison knife glitch if you know about it and know how to do it or look it up. But this also worked pretty delightfully for me, I would say. I make my way to the next lamp. And now we're going to go on a little bit of hunt here. There's a lot of little nice goodies in this area before the Mergo Witners. Like for example, there's there's some chunks right here. I miss entirely on these enemies, so I want to blow them up for fun. Then I make my way around this little hallway here to get more chunks around here. And then around the pigs area, there's a bunch of really good areas. There's one more really good gem. Get some blood vials from the pigs I killed. Some cold blood. Then I go back towards here around the shadows area, go to the left, and there's this downward stair area. You'll eventually get to this little waterway, and there's a couple more chunks from this Wandering Nightmare. And then I go get the shortcut for Mega's Wet Nurse, as we're pretty much done here for now. And then now we're actually gonna go get like the blood rock and all that in the little window jumpy area that's sneaky here. So I do have a lot of levels on me right now, so it's a little spooky. I need to do this really well. I'm just stubborn and don't want to go back to the dream until we get the rock. Yeah, make the jump. And then I pretty much use the blue elixirs to try and get to these winter lanterns. The main thing you want to get here on the little path is this gem. That's going to be really nice for the saw if you want to use that later. I just checked if there's any other items, but it seems like not, so I just make my way around to the lever for blood rock to drop down the brain. Then after looting the little courtyard here, I just go and get the rock. So this is going to be the first rock we have. We're only going to need the 2 really from the cleaver and this cannon. So just make my way back. Now back at the dream, I get myself 23 blood tinge. That's pretty close to the first diminishing returns threshold. I fortify my saw to +9, then my here, and then I get my cannon to +10. We're almost maxed out on damage here. And then I do also equip a lot. I think we got all the gems we need now for our weapon. We got a 15, at 18, and another 18. The circular one is a really nice one. That goes in the really weird slot. That's really strong. And then we make our way to Wetner. So with how tanky she is, the cannon is just the best way to go about it. I'm not going to show any other strat. Beast pelts are really nice, but not necessary. She will unfortunately sometimes stagger to the side, so you may need to readjust your angle a little bit. But you can just kind of safely go back even when she starts attacking. She staggers in like 2 hits, pretty much. And yeah, there she goes. Yeah, she's normally a very tanky one, but yeah, doesn't stand a chance with our cannon glitch. Alright, now that I have this, I just put my last 25 into blood tinge. And it seems like I do have extra levels for another, so I just go for some extra vitality because we're going to need a little bit more later on, so I might as well get started on that soon. I do notice I'm really close to 60, so if you want you can pop some Madman's Knowledge and just get yourself to 60 insight and get 1 more blood rock, and then just fortify your saw cleaver to +10, and it's pretty much maxed out now. Let's see one more skill later. Alright, so now we're going to make a quick detour to go get the summons for Canehurst and the umbilical cord. So of course right here when you get back to the clinic with our already gotten shortcut from way early in the game, you can go get these summons. I don't actually remember they're there from the very beginning. I don't think they might be, I don't know. But the umbilical cord is also nothing you gotta get next to it, so just wait till now I suppose. And then if you want you can do the blood mark, or you can just walk back. Alright, now we're gonna go to Hammock Charnel Lane, of course go to the Grand Cathedral and then take the right. Fun fact, I get this bone marrow ash for my cannon because I realized that's something you can do, but I never actually use them. But if you ever want to use them on the cannon glitch, if it works, feel free. Of course we got the lamp just in case anything goes wrong, but now we're actually at the hammocks. So this is how I'm going to do with the saw. The saw is pretty good at this point. If you ever do this fight with saw, even if it's low level, just do this. Do 1 backstab, don't riposte, do another backstab and then riposte. That should catch them in a chain where they can't really teleport away, even if you have low damage. So backstab, backstab, riposte, backstab, backstab, riposte. I believe that's what I used to use a lot in my casual playthroughs whenever I had low damage and wanted to get the runes early. Since you have such high damage, it doesn't really matter if you get it right. You can just kind of wail on her. I would think. Maybe the riposte would have killed her anyway. Like so. So yeah, that's if you just want to fight him like that, feel free. You don't need to use a cannon glitch. But if you do opt to use a cannon, it is even faster than that. Or maybe it was faster because I messed up the second one, but this is how it looks with the cannon. Yep. So that's how it goes with that one. This is especially doing a speedrun because you have a +10. I don't think you get that high at all. Normal run, but yeah, 2 shots pretty much. I think it's a 3-shot with speedrun. Yeah, if you want to go get the runes, feel free, but I don't even really use them in this playthrough at all. I'll back to the dream and just see if I can pop myself up another extra vid with some cold blood. The witches don't get you much echoes, but do some other things. You can see that there's definitely diminishing returns at 25 blood tinge, so don't feel the need to get 125. Of course, go get the carriage for Canehurst now, and don't be a fool and grab the lamp, please, because this next boss is the next reason why I got a lot of it. Of course, the shortcut's really nice to have as well, so I recommend getting it. And I'm actually going to show you a really quick shortcut. If you go up to the library or whatever, if you take a left here, I would kill this enemy right here to not bother you. But if you take this little book arranging stair thingy and just jump off it in the right angle, you can actually drop on top of one of the bookshelves and then just drop to where the lever is to get the next part of the area. Really, really handy skip. That's not even a glitch. Let's see if you want to count as a sequence break. And then just go up the stairs to... and then go up the ladder to the boss. Now, Lagares is really tricky. I would recommend having lead Alexas ready just in case anything goes wrong for the second phase. But this is going to be pretty much the ideal fight here. You want to run at him and hope that he dashes left or right to one of these like pillars. And if he does, he's in a perfect spot to just get wailed on. Because he's just pretty much going to get stuck as you try to get him with the cannons. So I got really, really lucky my very first attempt at this. And he just gave me the best RNG he could. He won't always give it to you like that. So another thing I could recommend is that you maybe get his HP down to when he's gonna get to do the next phase. I use a Beast Bell pedal, which is actually kind of a mistake, and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, so you can do melee until he gets to the phase where he stabs his staff in the floor to buff. And then you can do the cannon glitch. I was really slow there. He might have been able to go faster and maybe take advantage of it more, but yeah, as you can see, it messed up. And then he staggered out of it, so he's really aggressive now. The fight goes really, really bad from here, so I opt to use the lead elixir like I was saying, but because I have the Beast Blood plate on still, I can't actually use it, which I forgot about for a moment. I jump at him because I'm a dummy. Not used to this game. Yeah, I pretty much needed to wait until he does the thing where he stabs his sword in the ground. That's kind of what I'm just waiting for. Or maybe one of the attacks where he gets in the air and just kind of... not that one, the next one. The other one. But then it gives me this, and I use Light Elixir at the right time somehow. And that's a good time to just kind of get rid of both the thing on the floor and him. As you can see, the Light Elixir helps with not getting staggered by the swords too, which is nice. So yeah, that's why I got a lot of it here. Don't ask. Alright, now we got ourselves more of it for later. And now we're going to go through the DLC. It's going to be a really quick marathon here because I'm pretty much going to use the cannon for most of them. For Ludwig, you want to bait the first jump attack and get a little bit backwards and then do the glitch. That should pretty much be the best thing you want to do. It can be really hard if you don't do that. And then for second phase, I got really bad RNG here. The best possible outcome is that he does the thrust attack to the ground that does the AoE. But he doesn't give it to me for a long time. That's the best speedrun outcome as well. But I have seen that they've been discussing how to maybe get some other RNG or manipulate his RNG to get something good instead of waiting for him to give you something good, which is nice. I haven't really looked into it much. I only saw it briefly as I was in the Bloodborne Speedsoul's channel. Yeah, if you can dodge him fine, maybe just wait until he does the AoE attack. The one where he attacks the ground, not the air or whatever. And there he finally gives it to me, so I just stay a little bit away. And then do the cannon glitch. And yeah, it's pretty much over once he does that, honestly. So yeah, if we get those two down, it's pretty good. Of course, I'm on my way back, and we're gonna start pumping the vid once more. And you will see why very shortly. Make your way to the research hall, of course. And grab the lamp. Very dangerous area. Now, if you make your way up to here, I would recommend shooting this guy so he doesn't interrupt you as you run up. Then, of course, grab the lever. I'm going to show how to do this with a saw spear first. Pop the bolt paper and then these little pets to get down the stairs. And then just kill the first one with R1 and L1s. I did try to get a parry, but I missed. Then kill the second one. And then you're going to stay here in this area because the second one will always kind of spawn here if you get good enough RNG and such. I think maybe the sequence can be interrupted, but once you see these just spawning over and over, just do R1, 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 L1. See, this one lags a little bit, but it comes back a bit. So yeah, if you have high enough damage with your cleaver, you can just kind of do this. It's just a little weird because I feel like it can sometimes just mess you up and not get the spawn there, but okay. And then if you want to do cannon, you can do something similar in the sense that you will kill the first one and then just the second one as you spawn kill, which is when you think about it that way. Yeah, they do move a little bit, so you might need to readjust yourself. And then for the second one, you definitely need to readjust yourself. So this is where you need to start learning how to maneuver without wasting your bullets. Because you mess it up, you will lose bullets. But yeah, as you can see, it's the same, pretty much the same idea. And it works even faster, of course. Alright, so now, this is the part that I've been dreading the most, and it's going to be a little hard. It's hard to cheese Maria, but it is very possible. So now I opt to sell literally everything I can sell to get the most vitality I can get. I picked up all the items that I thought could be valuable and just selling them right now. Popping all the cold blood I have to get as much of a boost I can, because she's going to be very dodgy. And once you learn how to maneuver this boss, this should be a little bit more manageable, but I'm still learning a little bit, and I'm sure y'all still have some work on it because we're learning this today. Yeah, I pump everything to vid. I get 38, which is pretty solid. And then I might go over to her. So the strategy that I employ is basically to get her in a corner if possible, which is easier said than done, that's for sure. So I just opt to go to the back corner here and wait for her to come to me. When she's close enough, I pop the lead elixir and just see if I can get her caught in a corner. And then I try to do the attack, but she kind of staggers me out, which sucks. I thought lead elixir would stop that, but no. Seems like some of the stronger attacks are still interrupted. So I start heal to make sure I don't die. That's the priority. There's still plenty of lead elixirs, so I need some later, so I go for this opening. Kind of worked out okay, but my cannon wasn't aimed the right way. It was annoying. So I go again. My lead elixir right now, so I have to reapply it if I want to. She just switched to the gun phase, which is a little bit easier to manage, I think, in some cases. And then she kind of just goes here, and then I'm able to kind of maneuver to get her a little bit. So this is something you have to work with as well. Once she gets around half HP, she will do the face transition. It's pretty much over by the time that happens, because she would just be doing that, and as she tries to transform twice, you will just decimate her HP. So once you get the second phase, it's over pretty much. So I do try one more time with another strategy, which is to get her with melee to her on half HP to do the transformations, and it won't go as well as I would have hoped. As you can see, with Beast Up Heads, I'm getting her down pretty well, which is nice. Now she does transform there, but I'm still a little too long to be able to get the combos on. So I do something that's kind of makes her dodge away and then staggers. So that's annoying, but thankfully I'm able to maneuver back around. So yeah, just get really used to the maneuvering, because she's going to be very dodgy. And you can even retry if she's going to another phase and shoot her again and do this. So yeah, this is gonna be one of the harder ones of the entire game, even with the cannon glitch, unfortunately. But if you get the maneuvering down well, it should go well. Okay, so it's not the last dodgy boss, so I just go for more vid as well. I do get the Lawrence skull, because I do want to do Lawrence first. I do the Bolt Hunter mark around here so they don't follow me. And then I work my way to Lawrence from the beginning of DLC. Now this fight should be a piece of cake, but I do mess it up by having, I think, too low stamina. So make sure that you have enough stamina when you start this. So I messed up the opening, and they get clipped here by the sparkles, which sucks. This is it again, and then I'm actually able to get it off now. So once you get the cannon glitch going and he's lined up well, it's pretty much over. This boss gets destroyed. Any big boss that doesn't dodge too much can get destroyed really easily with this, which is really nice. So yeah, that's Lawrence. Honestly, As long as you don't go with too little stamina, you can just decimate it very early. Alright, so now our way to the final boss of the DLC, Cause, Orphan of Cause. Of course, grab this lamp. Please be smart. Then make your way to the level. Of course, I get this shortcut here as well. That's really nice to have as well, just in case anything goes wrong with Orphan. Orphan is a little bit easier, I would say, than Maria, but it can still definitely be a little wonky, so yeah, this is what I'm gonna try to do here. So you don't need elixirs or anything. I don't think this will really help. But I opt to go to the corner again. So I aggro him. Then make my way to this corner over here and try to get him stuck there as well. It actually kind of works okay for this beginning bit. I think he just dodges to the side itself. Oh no, he staggers me. That's what it was, yeah. So yeah, try to do it again. Go in the corner. It just kind of depends on his attack and methods. That's a decent attack to punish, so I just try to go for it. And he lets up pretty good. If he staggers backwards, not too much to the side, it's really good. He does start getting a little bit to the side, so I adjust myself real quick, and then yeah, just one more time, and then yeah. He dies in first phase, which is I don't think something they intended to happen or anticipated happening much, because well-known meme that you can actually just bug out as he dies there in first one. Okay, I'm gonna show you another cool cheese that I learned a long time ago, which is basically just an AI loop as well. I found it a lot harder just because I haven't practiced parrying him in a while. But if you're good with the parries, just try to do this that I'm about to do. So, parry any attack you feel it can do. Do 2 R1s, go back a little bit, parry him again, 2 R1s, parry him again, 2 R1s, and just follow this loop over and over. Beast Blood heads up a lot. Maybe I should have less insight to make this a little bit better. As you can see though, I do eventually fail the chain. And I did fail a couple times, as you saw me pick up my stain. So that sucked a little bit, but yeah, so if you feel confident about that, you can also kill him in phase 1 just like that. He never breaks out of his loop as long as you don't break the loop. But yeah, so with Cause there, that's pretty much all the base game and DLC done. So now we're just gonna pump the rest into Vit for Gehrman. He's not as bad as Maria or Cause even maybe, but it's still annoying. Do pop the umbilical cords before you go in, of course, to get the moon presence if you want to fight that too. I totally didn't forget to do that myself in my first attempt. Yeah, so go aggro Gehrman now. Do remember to have some stamina before you do this. And I found that popping elixir might not be too useful, but getting him as early as possible is pretty nice. You will have to adjust yourself because he is very slow. And I think I just opt to kind of go towards the corner there with him. I think what I really should have done, which I think worked in another attempt I had ages ago, so while practicing, is to get him stuck against the wall as well. It's just really wonky to get him, because when he's close, he'll just kind of like move around too much. So you can see here, this works really well, right here. Getting him kind of stuck here. I do have to adjust myself, like I've said, but by this point in the game, yeah. Then once he starts transitioning phase, it's pretty much over again, so... yeah, once again, phase transitions are really good. So if you want to do maybe melee fights until then, that works really well too. And then Moon Presence. This one, you will pretty much just have to bait the Presence into doing any attack you can punish well. That one was not one. So just any attack you can dodge and has a long wind-up or stuff after works. So I figured that one's good enough as long as I'm spaced out, and then there you go. Just shoot until it's dead. Very squishy, surprisingly. And then yeah, that is all the bosses for Bloodborne. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video now. So yeah, that's all the bosses. If you would like to see me do the Chalice Dungeon bosses, I would actually not be opposed to doing that. So you guys let me know if you like that as well. Granted, I'm sure you guys get the gist with the canon. I'm sure you get how it works now, so you could probably do it yourself. But sometimes it's nice to know how to corner a boss or something, so I could figure that out as well. But yeah, this is the follow-up to a Demon Souls Chase the Bosses thing I've done with like another tech that was found recently-ish. And honestly, I didn't expect to make this video as soon as after that one. But this glitch was found very recently, and I haven't really seen a cheese all bosses Bloodborne with this yet. I've seen it with other things, but there's some bosses you can't cheese as effectively without the cannon glitch. So I figured I would show this. So I do hope you enjoy this kind of storytelling kind of approach to it instead of showing all the bosses individually. Since I did show from a fresh character, I just figured out to show you where all the items are as well. But like I said, if you enjoyed this video, I do have a cheese all bosses for Demon Souls as well. I will link that right now. And I don't know if by the time I release this video, I'll have this out, but I have been speedrunning the all bosses category for this with a cannon glitch. So if I have a decent PB at some point in the future, I'll post that now as well if you want to see that. Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Berto Please. I mostly do Demon Souls content, but I do dabble in some Soulsborne stuff here and there. I will be making Elden Ring content soon when that comes out. But do subscribe to me if you like any of this kind of video, or speedrun content in general. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys around. Bye-bye.